If there's one player or coach on Georgia's roster that I think has the most pressure on them this upcoming season, I think it's got to be offensive coordinator Mike Bobo. This is a guy that basically has the Georgia fan base divided. Half of the fan base loves Mike Bobo. They're glad he's there. They think as a play caller, he can lead them to a national championship. I think so as well. I think he's a top 10 offensive coordinator in college football, but he's not perfect, and he's got to get better himself. The other half of the fan base will never give Mike Bobo credit for anything. When they score 50 points, it's never because of him. Every loss, completely on him, no matter how they lose the game. And they will never give Mike Bobo credit for anything until he wins a national championship. A lot of people are just over it. And I think in reality, it's somewhere in the middle. I think Mike Bobo gets a little too much blame when they lose games, and I don't think he gets enough credit for when they look outstanding. But this year, I don't think there's any excuses. I think he's under a lot of pressure now more than ever to win a national championship. And I'm going to explain why in this video. This is a big year for Mike Bobo. I don't want to call it a make or break year, but it's one where it seems like he has everything in front of him. He has everything he needs to win a national championship as Georgia's play caller. And again, I'm going to break that down in just a second. But first, got to talk about my boy here, my Bulldog statue over at collegebronze.com. You can get one yourself. This is the best looking, most detailed Georgia statue on the market. If you're still looking for a Father's Day gift, if you're looking for a graduation gift, Mother's Day is tomorrow. But if you want to get a late Mother's Day gift, this is it. You don't have to look. I've done it for you. This is it. 35 pounds of stone. This is the newest addition to your family. You put it on your front porch. You're going to smile every time you pull into the driveway. Your dad's going to love it. Your son's going to love it. A friend or family member, anyone who just graduated from Georgia, they are going to love this. And you can get a discount today by using the promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. It's all in the description below in this video. So when you order, which is going to be the best decision you've ever made in your life, make sure you get that discount, promo code DAWGPOST, okay? All of the information and the website to order is in the description below in this video, so make sure you do that. Okay, now I say Mike Bobo is under the most pressure because he's got everything he needs. Georgia should not lose games this year because of their inability to score. If Georgia loses, it needs to be on the defense. Right? I think there's more question marks on the defensive side of the football than there are on offense. And if you're Mike Bobo, you've got your quarterback and Carson Beck, who was really good last year as a first-time starter. He should be even better this year. So you've got your quarterback that is experienced and has some, a full season of starts under his belt, and has NFL caliber arm talent, right? Everyone can see that. He's got the offensive line, 4 returning starters, and a center that everyone's raving about, right? An athletic, smart, veteran center that just doesn't have a lot of experience as a starter because Cedric Van Pran was there for the last several years. But they've got their left tackle that could be a first-round pick. They've got a battle at left guard, Dylan Fairchild, Michael Morse. Whoever wins that is going to be a really good player. Jared Wilson at center, who's going to surprise a lot of people. Tate Ratledge at right guard, who's been in Athens forever. Forever, it seems like. He was part of that 2020 class, but he's back. He's going to dominate. And then at right tackle, you've got either a promising sophomore and Monroe Freeling, former 5-star, or you can just plug Xavier Truss there. And I think that's what they're going to do. Another big, massive guy with a lot of experience under his belt. So quarterback, check. Offensive line, check. I mean, those two groups could be the best in college football. They really could. I'm not exaggerating there. They've got talented running backs. I'm not saying it's the best running back room in college football, but they've got some guys. Trevor Etienne's really good. I've talked about Roderick Robinson over and over again. He's not going to surprise any of you watching this channel. He might surprise a lot of casual Georgia fans, but no one watching this channel because you already know about him. I made like 2-3 videos about the running back group alone. Branson Robinson, don't forget about him. When he's healthy, he's going to just bowl through defenders, just truck them, okay? It's what he did as a freshman. When he's healthy, he's going to be a tackle-breaking machine. So they've got running backs. Do they have Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Todd Gurley? No, they don't have one of those guys. But it's a talented group overall. At tight end, it's still a good group. It's one of the best groups in college football. You're missing Brock Bowers. You don't have Brock Bowers or anyone like him on the roster, and that's okay. He's a generational talent. Excuse me. But Mike Bobo, a lot of people don't know this. He was basically the assistant tight ends coach that first year when he came back to work under Kirby Smart. So he knows what Oscar Dell can do. He knows what Lawson Lucky can do. The incoming freshmen, those guys are going to be really good players, especially Jaden Riddell. And then you got Ben Yurcik coming over from Stanford. So again, you've got guys. Tight end is not a weakness, and neither is wide receiver. They're about as deep at wide receiver as they have been in quite some time. You can just list guys after guys after guys. It's not just 3 talent gap and then a bunch of scrubs. No, you got guys that can play. Dom Lovett, Dylan Bell, Colby Young, Ra Thomas. Those are 4 really talented receivers who could basically start at most SEC programs. Then you've got guys like Anthony Evans, Arian Smith, who everyone raves about, but they've been raving about him this time every year. Yeah, Arian Smith is always a guy to know in the offseason. He's got to do it. He's got to go make the plays. And if he's on the field, that means Dom Lovett may not be, or whoever, they put in the slot or on the outside, wherever he's lined up, because a lot of guys can play different wide receiver positions. I ask some of these recruits all the time at wide receiver, is there a specific, receiving position they want you to play, the X, the Y, the Z? And they're like, a lot of them are like, not really. They said they'll try me at the Y, they'll try me at the Z, but at the end of the day, they want to make all their receivers versatile. They want to be able to line up guys all over the place. If you line everyone up in the same spot, defenses are going to figure that out. So Mike Bobo knows how to confuse a defense. He wants to run the ball. He wants to be a power, football. He wants to run down your throat. But he also brings a level of finesse that I think Georgia fans either don't see at the time that it's working, or they don't comprehend what's going on the field. But the finesse game and what they're able to do, especially with Carson Beck coming back again, and all these receivers who, again, know the playbook, they know what's coming. There wasn't even a giant difference in the playbook and what they were calling between Todd Monken and Mike Bobo. Kirby Smart even said, we're not doing a lot differently. So if you want to blame Mike Bobo for every single loss and just be a negative Nelly the all offseason, I don't know how you go about that. But there has to be a small part of the Mike Bobo haters who have a belief, that have seen this offense put up 50 points, that saw Mike Bobo with a bad quarterback in Hudson Mason, although he had one of the best backfields in college football history behind him. But they were scoring a lot in 2014, and it's hard to blame those losses on Mike Bobo because Hudson Mason was just bad. And his arm talent was never getting better. Mike Bobo couldn't take him and develop him because he wasn't good enough to play at Georgia. Hudson Mason would never even sniff an offer from Georgia today. It wouldn't even come close. And he shouldn't have played at Georgia back in the day. Now, you can blame Mike Bobo for saying, hey, why was there not another quarterback on the roster, right? He's supposed to develop this guy. He's supposed to have a quarterback who's ready if Hudson Mason isn't in, right? I get all that, but he has shown that he can put up monster numbers. What he did with Aaron Murray was, incredible. That 2012 season was phenomenal. They were one of the most explosive offenses in the country. We saw how better Matthew Stafford got under the development of Mike Bobo. But at the end of the day, you have to score 30 points against Alabama. And again, he didn't fumble the ball. He didn't get pushed on the offensive line. But they should have been a little more ready. And they fought back. The defense didn't make stops at the end. So yes, you can blame Mike Bobo a little bit, especially with that loss to Alabama, but you can't throw the entire loss on him. And I feel like people just love to do that. When Georgia loses games, or I think when a lot of teams lose games, the first, blame goes to the coordinators. When teams win and win convincingly and it looks great, the head coach gets the credit, but the coordinators get the blame a lot of times when they lose games. That's just how it is. I don't think people realize that when it's happening, but Mike Bobo is one of the best offensive coordinators in college football. I think he's top 10, maybe top 5, and I think his resume proves that. But he doesn't have a national championship under his resume. He needs to do it this year, in my opinion, because they've got a great defense, but this offense is going to be very good. It should be. On paper, they've got it all. They just don't have Brock Bowers. They've got everything else. They may not have a track speed guy, but Trevor Etienne is fast enough, and he has some explosiveness, and he has some burst. But he's not a burner. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. But for the most part, this offense has everything they need to win a national championship. And if they lose a game and they're only scoring 20-something points, yeah, I think it could get ugly for Mike Bobo. But I still believe he is good enough and smart enough and intelligent enough and knows football enough to have Carson Beck in this offense ready to possibly win another national championship. I think it's all there for him. Mike Bobo, big several months for him. Big year for Mike Bobo in this Georgia offense. Thanks for watching. Make sure you buy your Georgia Bulldog statue. There's nothing like it on the market. Get it now because you can get a discount. Promo code DOGPOST. Don't forget that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.